Republicans are looking to change the Electoral College system. In battleground states, the Democrats have won in the last two cycles, and that includes the state of Virginia, where the president won all 13 electoral votes. Now, get this. If the plan Republicans are now pushing was already in effect, Mitt Romney would have earned 9 of those votes, putting the Commonwealth in his column. Judith Browne Dianis is co-director of the Advancement Project. She's an expert on voting rights issues, and she joins us now. So, Judith, explain that the state of Virginia could basically vote on this measure as early as next week. Do they have the juice to pull this off?
Well, you know, this is really just a continuation of what we saw in 2011 and 2012 with Republicans really trying to manipulate the voting system so that they can win. And so what we're seeing in Virginia is that they're lining up to change the way that votes get counted for president so that in 2016 we will see a difference. And, you know, they control the legislature. And so here you have them lining up to say, we're not going to do it the way that it should be done. We're not going to have the popular vote, meaning each and every one of our votes count, and then the president would get, you know, the winner takes all. Instead, we're going to do it by congressional district. But by the way, we've drawn the line so that Republicans can have all control over congressional districts, so our guy will win. All
right, so this is gerrymandering at its best, the terms and the phrases being packing and stacking to make this happen. Now, there are 4 states where this is currently being considered. Virginia, just one of them, as well as Ohio, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. I had a chance to speak with our Ed Schultz earlier today, and listen to his reaction about this.
It's a real wake-up call to every grassroots organization in this country that you're going to have to win at the state level to prevent this, to protect the national election. The Republicans aren't doing this because there's a lack of representation. They're doing this because they want to win the executive branch. They're doing this because they don't want a Democrat in the White House. And they have realized the power that they have at the local level.
All right, so Judith, as we talk about Virginia specifically, there are 2 Virginia Republican senators who opposed this bill, Ralph Smith, Jill Vogel, who have come out saying that they aren't in favor of doing something like this. They think that it's basically doomed in the Senate. As I said, I mean, what are the chances that they will be able to collectively, those that are in favor of this, get the power to pull this off next week?
There's a very good chance. I mean, you know, partisan politics wins out. People will line themselves up behind this because they think for the Republican Party this is for the greater good. And so we really have to think about the fact that we continue to see politicians manipulating the election system, committing voter fraud on us. You know, making sure that they get to win. They change, because they couldn't win, what they do is they change the rules of the game. They're rigging the election system so that in 2016 they'll be able to do it. And I'm pretty sure that they will line up their party and they'll all vote in unison.
Judith, as people know who follow the makeup of the Electoral College know that Nebraska and Maine already have a system like this in place. So using that example, why isn't this something that can work in certain states, other battleground states?
Well, I mean, you know, what we're concerned about is in particular places where you have large cities or where the Republicans have actually concentrated, especially communities of color, into one district. That means that those folks are not going to have a real voice because they'll get one vote, and then the votes in the Electoral College will be scattered. So the voting power of communities of color in particular will be diluted. And add to that Republicans were really smart about making sure that when they took over state legislatures, it was in a year where redistricting happened, which is how we divide political power. And so they divided it in a way in which they can win in the end.
Incumbents control the map right there. Judith, great to see you. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Thomas.